Welcome back, everyone. This is an exciting time at Desert Valley Blitz because the season is here. And today we're going to do our weekly wrap-up of week one and kind of go over the scores and just give you guys a little bit of insight of what we're seeing out there on the gridiron this week. So, hey, Coach Josh, how you doing today, man?
I'm good.
Are you ready to do this?
I am. This
you watched some games. You watched some games this weekend.
I watched around 3 games. Yeah, I got some time, and I watched half of the Palm Desert game, the first half, a little bit of the Xavier game, and I watched the whole Yucca Valley game. So.
Okay, so because you're scouting for La Quinta already, is that what's going on?
Maybe.
You're on the payroll at La Quinta still, so. So we'll start with the game the game of the week that everybody was talking about, and it was an in-city rivalry of the city of Indio, the Mayor's Cup. That's the game that I attended, and I kind of, as a Raja, I'll tell you, I'm already I'm biased as to go into that game. I wanted to see Indio succeed, and it's a funny story. My son had practice that day, so we kind of got there. I was like, okay, we left practice early. We're gonna get there about 5 minutes into the first quarter. Mm-hmm. Should be ready to roll, right?
Yeah.
Well, when I roll up 5 minutes into the first quarter, it's already 21-0. So the score was already kind of getting away from Indio, and I believe Reef from Shadow Hills. Shout out to Reef. I've seen that kid play for a long time. He's been making big plays for Shadow Hills. Yeah, he ran back the kickoff, and I think that was basically the backbreaker for Indio. Let him kind of know that, hey, this is not going to be your day, you know. And I think the guy, Coach Palmer over there at Shadow Hills, did a good job getting the kids ready. Coach. And he should give a game ball to the Desert Sun, because the Desert Sun, one of those guys picked Shadow Hills to lose that game to Indio. I don't know if you're aware of that. So I'm sure that didn't sit well in the Shadow Hills.
They probably pinned it up in the locker room.
Yeah, they gave him some locker room material for Shadow Hills to be just a little bit more motivated to come into that game. And
they were motivated.
And it showed, man, because from the moment I got there, it was just, Shadow Hills was put on a pretty dominating performance. I mean, they were running, throwing, doing whatever they wanted to, and Indio didn't really have any answers. But there's always a silver lining, right, Coach?
Yeah.
Always a silver lining.
I always root for Indio, man.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, that
was the team, right?
That was the team, man. Legends I looked up to when I was a kid played for that team.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, there was the first powerhouse in the desert.
They were
really the first CIF champions.
I went to the Norco playoff game.
So did I. I was an 8th grader getting ready to enroll in Indio.
I think I didn't even have to pay. I was so young.
Right. Right. That's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to go to that school was that Norco game. But I think the silver lining for everybody is that, this season's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
There's some good teams,
man.
Yeah,
it's a marathon, though, and you can start. It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Yeah.
Indio should probably take that film and just cut it up and pick a few things that they like, and then
they'll get better from it.
Throw it away, throw it away, because that was probably one of the best teams you're going to see all year. Yeah. And, there's always going to be room for improvement. I believe they're on the road this week against Fullerton, which I believe is not a powerhouse team, so we should have some positive news coming out of Indio. But like I said, it's the season's a marathon, right? It's gonna be a long season. Yeah, there's gonna be improvement. I think on the Shadow Hills side, those guys look excellent, but I think for them as well, they almost need to throw that tape away too, because you know how it goes, Coach. Mm-hmm. When your kids have a real good performance, sometimes that next week they're coming in
Cruise
flat.
Control.
Yeah. They think they're world beaters.
Yeah.
And then you run into.
You almost don't like that as a coach.
Exactly. I hated that as a coach, because now they're not working at practice. They think they've already got everything. And, the old coach used to tell me, you're never as good as you think, and you're never as bad as you think. And I think early in the season, that's a big rule to live by. You're never as good as you think you are, and you're never as bad as you think. It's somewhere in the middle, right? Mm-hmm. So for Shadow Hills, it's just getting that out of your system as well, and saying, hey, we gotta compete for this DEL championship. And I think they got the team to do it. I think the Desert Sun kind of picked them to kind of finish in the bottom of the division, and I think that after what I saw, they still got some pretty good talent at Shadow Hills. So
they fly around. They always do.
Defensively, they're pretty good. They've got some real good skill guys. There's a lot of talent there. So it's going to be real interesting. Yeah. I think it's a good start. Good start for Shadow Hills. Not a great start for Indio, but like I said, it's a marathon, not a sprint, right?
Yeah, they'll bounce back.
So what'd you see in your games that you checked out?
I watched the first half of the Palm Desert game.
Okay.
Defensively, as advertised, they're nice. They've ran that system a few years.
They've got a bunch of returners on defense, right?
Yeah, and they're big up front, and they get after it. they were cramping up a little bit, but
right. Always in the season. You got to have that pickle juice on the sideline, man.
Yeah,
pickle
get those
juice.
Electrolytes before the game, not halftime,
right.
So, but defensively, they're flying around, but even on offense, I think they're going to be better than they were last year.
Because they lost to Brawley last year, correct?
Yeah.
And Brawley's Brawley's a tough opener.
It's a football
That's a
city.
football town. I remember in Indio every year we seem to always go down there to Brawley and open up the season. You had to prepare for that veer.
Veer, yeah.
Do they still run the veer? They still run? They had to open it up since then, right?
Not the same as when we played back in the day, but they're a running football team, but they looked a little sloppy. I mean,
really? Well, first game,
First game, they were. But were they sloppy, or was Palm Desert's defense just that good? So kind of got in their head. They couldn't do nothing and started making mistakes. But there was a few fumbles early. Palm Desert took advantage of it, turnovers, and their first touchdown was a interception, pick six.
Oh, nice. Defense got on the board, huh?
Yeah, it was like a little 5-yard out, and guy was on the guy's hip pocket, and he saw the quarterback throw and just took it to the house. So,
all right.
Offensively, for Palm Desert, I think they're going to be better. They run that spread system, but they want to run the ball. They want to.
They spread you out to run the ball?
Yeah, they like to run the ball. They run that zone. They run the counter. They got a pretty nifty offense. I actually like it. They've been running it for a while. I did see them hit some wide receiver screens, which I'm a big fan of doing, being a wide receiver coach. So I hope they keep with that. But I think Palm Desert's going to be really good. They're going to be at the top of the league for sure.
Right. So that final score for Palm Desert was 23-12. So that's a pretty good performance. Yeah, last year I believe they went in there and lost pretty handily to Brawley. So I think that we got 2 DEL teams that kind of showed up and said, "Hey, we're going to be in the mix this year."
Speaking of which, Xavier, I mean, they look good. They were running up and down the field.
And that's another game that you kind of checked out.
Running back. What running back's name? Is it Acosta?
Oh yeah, the sophomore.
He's
is it Robert?
He was running hard.
Yeah, he's pretty good, man. He's pretty good. He's been on the scene for a long time. I know he was a youth star.
Anderson Acosta. Yeah. So Taylor Pope's there, second year. He was the offensive coordinator last year. I think he's going to do a lot better job this year. He's actually a La Quinta alumni. Shout out La Quinta.
Oh, nice.
I actually coached him when he was there. So
off your coaching lineage. Huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
Nice.
I think I was JV back then, but he moved from receiver to quarterback, and he did a really good job once he was at varsity. So I think he's just gonna. I think they're going to be better. Xavier's always good at defense. I mean, they run a very good system. Their D ends play really good. The secondary plays a press bell technique, and at the high school level, that's kind of tough to deal with that receiver quarterback because you got like an example, you got a hitch called, and they come up pressed. You can't run a hitch against press, so you check it, and whatever your signal is to go downtown, and then all of a sudden they're bailing, and now as a high school kid, you're like, oh shoot, what do I do?
Right.
So. You have to have some type of automatic system down to deal with that, or you got to run some stuff that'll work on both from the offense. But defensively, Xavier's always in top 2 if you look back the last few years. Offensively, if they get that offense going, man, I think Taylor's gonna.
Well, they got that quarterback Kingston, who's a pretty good athlete back there.
Yeah,
and he's a good. I've actually had the chance to meet that guy. He's a really good kid. I think he's got a real bright future. So Xavier, the thing with Xavier is I always got top line talent. Yeah. It's depth with them, and as you get into the season and you start losing guys to injuries and stuff that's where it's Xavier. They're not rolling with 2-3 deep. They've got top line talent that can beat anybody. Yeah. But they got to stay healthy, and that's usually the case with Xavier. So that's another team that put on a great performance. I think their final score was let's see here. Xavier, they won pretty handily, 46-14 over Linfield Christian. So
and it's hard to gauge in the early in the season how good these wins are. Sometimes you look back at a win or loss at week 8 and you look back, geez, we beat that team. They're 8-1 right now.
Right.
How do we do that?
First week though, man. First week is always
there's a lot of
choppy,
unknowns.
man. It's always choppy. I remember your first week there, the biggest improvement you'll see on your football team is usually week 1 to week 2.
Yeah.
Right. That's pretty standard in football. You have a game under your belt. And I can remember being when I was coaching back in my days, we'd beat some teams in week 1 and think we were world beaters and come out and lose like the next five games in a row because, they might not have been ready to play or they just had an off day. So week 1 can be smoke and mirrors sometimes. You have to take it with a grain of salt. I think after 2-3 games, then you start to form an identity. So,
but you can always tell like when teams are prepared. If they're not sloppy, if they're not there's not a lot of penalties. I think these are all things you can kind of get a gauge of where they're at. And Xavier looked sharp. Palm Desert looked really sharp. The third team that I got to watch was Yucca, and man, they look good too.
They look
man.
good too,
yeah, they got it.
Who did Yucca play? Let's see here.
They played Arrowhead Christian.
Okay, but it's a good little tune-up for Yucca. I think next week they're going to have their real test when they line up against.
Well, they were playing defensively. They're running a 4-2-5, which is like if I'm a defensive coordinator, that's what I would like to run. That's my favorite defense. They even stood up their ends. They're in a 2-point, which I like. They're half yard off the ball.
Okay.
And the reason why you do that is because you don't want them to run up the field too much.
Right.
Because a lot of kids will just want to sack the quarterback. So you want to keep them in it's almost like a poor man's bracket. You get under the hitches and the slants. They're in a 2-point. So when you're a quarterback, you drop back. You got two hopefully tall kids right there. They can still set the edge.
Right. Seems like a very perimeter-oriented defense.
It looks weird because they only got 2 D linemen.
You get a power team.
I know I don't know if they're going to be standing up this week against La Quinta. So
La Quinta's coming with your counter ISO.
They're going to deal with some kickouts.
Waggle. They're going to be. La Quinta don't change,
so
man.
So it'll be interesting to see if they keep them in a 2-point.
Keep that defense.
I know
this week just because you got to play the power.
100%.
You got to play counter.
Yeah.
You got to play ISO against La Quinta. La Quinta hasn't changed in 25 years.
No, they run the ball, man.
If you don't stop the run, it's going to be a long night.
You're going to try to load the box, and we'll go up over top. So.
Yeah, and Rancho Mirage found that out last year, man. They couldn't stop the run, and that was the difference in the game. They just couldn't line up and stop the run.
Yeah, and then the year before, they were able to stop the run, and they won.
Exactly. So La Quinta don't make it difficult. No. I mean, they're either going to beat you with the run game or they're not going to beat you. So it's not. You
know what you're going to get.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think Yucca is going to be in for a little bit of adjustment for this week. Definitely.
But they did look sharp. Like their running back was good. They talking about wide receiver screens earlier, I think they might be the best wide receiver screen in the area. They have
Coachella?
It's up to them too. They both have a system.
That's their bread and butter, man.
Yucca Valley can do it too, man. And when you get a system, you got that defender, the overhang or outside linebacker. If he's on number 2, they'll run a certain screen. If he's on 3, they'll automatically switch to a different screen. Right. They might be egg packs. It's just about the angles. And when you got a good system there and you can hit 3 or 2 or even the number 1 receiver coming on, it's hard to stop.
Yeah,
and then once you hit that a couple times, you fake that and you go over top.
There's a lot of adjustments that could be made out of that offense. And trust me, I've had the displeasure of coaching against that for years. Yeah. So I feel you on that. Yeah. So the other games this week that we kind of are looking at, DCA went up to 29 Palms.
Yeah.
And they got a win. I mean,
that's a big win.
That's a pretty, for DCA, who's not a big school.
Yeah.
That's a pretty impressive win. First win out of the gate, first win of the year.
29 Palms, it's a kind of a small football town too, kind of like Yucca. They got, those military families, they always got kids that can play ball. So that's definitely a big win.
Yeah. And for a small school, I mean, DCA population is a tiny fraction of these other schools that they're playing. So I know some guys at DCA, the offensive coordinator, shout out to my man Ernie. He's my guy. I used to coach him back in the day. Yeah. He's an up and coming offensive coordinator. He was at Coachella for a long time. Coach Johnson over there. They're doing a real good job of like bringing kids in that normally wouldn't even look at DCA, and they've got a lot of freshmen starting.
The head coach, he's
an NFL guy.
Yeah,
man.
I heard
he's
he was an NFL guy. Yeah, that's cool.
We want to get him on the pod. So Coach Johnson, if you're out there, come on in and talk about your program. But a very impressive win going on the road. It's always hard to go on the road in high school.
Especially up there.
Go up there. The air's a little thinner up there, but I mean, a pretty handy win. 36-12. I mean, so it wasn't really close.
No.
And DCA is rolling with a lot of freshmen. Some of them are holdback freshmen, but they're still freshmen technically. And that's a team. I think that might be I'm kind of calling it right now. Even though they had a successful season last year, I think DCA might be our Desert Hot Springs of last year, who's kind of surprising people and beating people that you don't really expect them to beat. Yeah, it's gonna be I'm calling that right now. I think they're gonna be the story of the year in terms of the surprises. I think that they have a chance. Looking at their schedule, they have a chance to do some things. So shout out to DCA. That's an impressive win. Looking at the other scores, we got Palm Springs got a double overtime win.
Big win.
Against a team that they lost to last year at home. Very impressive.
Yeah. Classic Palm Springs team.
I mean, the DEL is shaping up to be kind of
I'm
crazy.
glad I'm not coaching this year. It's
right, I'm glad
you're
taking the year off, man, because these guys are coming, man.
Yeah.
These teams look
They're
much improved.
Ready to go.
Man.
Boys are coming.
Shout out to Palm Springs. They're doing their thing. I think we'll get them on a couple of games of the week here. Coachella Valley went to Vista and won 33-21. So that's a pretty standard game for Coachella, just outscoring people and doing their thing.
I did they come back a little bit in the second half?
Yeah, I think they were down a little bit, but second half they kind of started rolling. So getting that offense going. So shout out to CV. The Arabs are the DVL is going to be pretty competitive too with CV and Yucca and the 3-man, 4-man league that they're going to have this year. So CV, excellent start. And then my personal favorite here is Desert Mirage, 70, Desert Chapel 38, 70 burger in the first week on a Desert Mirage. And Desert Mirage, like I know Desert Mirage, they don't throw the ball a whole lot. So for you to have 70 points with that offense, how much running did they have to do? How many yards did they have to do?
I want to see some tape. I want to see what they were running. I want to see. Obviously, it's got to be some type of power, maybe double wing. I don't know. Send us some clips.
Send us some clips.
I want to see this.
One of their running back, Omar Martinez. 8 touchdowns, coach, in one game.
We don't get better than that.
8 touchdowns in one game.
Remember when Al Bundy was talking about his touchdowns on the couch?
I mean, that's like some kids' careers. Is 8 touchdowns.
It's amazing.
In one game. So, I mean, I got to see I haven't seen the box score for this game, but I would definitely like to see. I mean, that's a heck of a start. 8 touchdowns in one game. I mean, you might as well go retire after that. That's I don't know that it's going to get any better. Desert Chapel is obviously only in their 3rd year of 11-man football. I'm glad they're playing 11 men. It's and they put up almost 40 points. I mean, it wasn't like this was 70-0.
They got a good receiver.
They've got a couple good guys. I think they're kind of in the process of just building up the rest of the roster. Football, you can't do it with 2-3 guys. You got to have a whole 25, 30 guys. So Desert Chapel might be the Desert Christian story in a couple of years. I'm kind of predicting because they've got some good coaches out there and they've got some good talent. But they scored almost 40 points too, so it wasn't like it was 70-0. This is like they were going back, and it looked like a track meet out there.
That was a lot of points.
Yeah, track meet, and hey, that's
the scoreboard was smoking.
70 points for Desert Mirage, so that's got to be a school record of some short, but we'll let the stat nerds kind of check that out, and then let's see. So scores, I think we hit most. Lastly, we had a Saturday game. Cathedral City opened their season at Santa Rosa Academy. They come out not on top. They lose 32-6. Cat City's probably going to be trying to get it going throughout the season, and they're in that new is it the Sun Belt League or something like that?
Change it every few years.
Banning and we got to do a little bit more research on the leagues. There's so many to kind of follow.
Manzanita League, is that what they're calling it?
It's called like the Sun Belt. We'll do our homework next week for that for those leagues. But
stop changing it.
Yeah, I mean it changes every year, but Cat City goes on the road and they're gonna be on looking for their first week league game in a couple weeks here. So Thursday's games, we had obviously Yucca Valley you already watched. Desert Hot Springs, man. Desert Hot Springs beat Rubidoux 32-14. So
it's a good win.
The Golden Eagles are back at it again, huh?
Yeah, the coaches proved it's not a fluke, man. They're year 3. They're showing that they've know how to win over there, and they're going to continue it. They always have good kids out there, and I've coached out there.
You got some experience out there, right?
I've coached there. I love that school. I think it's
they've always had talent out there.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of like keeping them all on the same page.
Yeah, they got stuff at home, and and there's stuff going around, and sometimes football isn't the most important thing in life, and it's hard to get them invested and finding that rhythm that a good team means. But I like it because that's where I found the structure in life was football. So I root for that school
right.
So.
Well, you got some personal experience out there. And so, I mean, that story continues, right? Yeah. Shout out to that coaching staff.
Yeah, they're doing a good job.
And that team, man, they're doing a real good job starting the season off 1-0, impressive win. And they're just kind of continuing that momentum from last year.
I saw them in passing league. They look good, man. They're doing it right.
Yeah. So. I mean, hey, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see a lot of the teams out here looking good and going out of town and beating some out of town teams. It's always a good feeling. Lastly, the kind of shocker, well, maybe not a shocker, of the Thursday games is DEL favorite Rancho Mirage kind of comes in and gets beat in the first game by Christian of El Cajon, 42-14. I don't know much about El Cajon. I'm assuming they're a pretty good team.
Yeah, probably.
To put that on, because Rancho's got a bunch of dudes that could play. I know they've kind of reloaded that roster, and I think they're still going to be one of the favorites. But man, the DEL is going to be a bloodbath this year. I'm glad that I don't have to prepare for these teams every week, Coach, because it's looking like there's 5 good teams in the DEL. I'm telling you, man.
Right now.
Which game is a gimme in league at this point? I mean, there's none. No. All these teams look
Shadow
pretty
Hills,
sharp. Shadow Hills, Xavier, Palm Springs,
Desert,
La Quinta. I mean. It's going to be tough.
We haven't seen La Quinta play yet, but I'm pretty sure.
La Quinta's always going to be in the mix just because they run the ball and play defense. And tradition says that La Quinta will be in the mix somewhere.
I know what they got under the hood too, so I'm not worried.
I mean, tradition says that they'll be pretty competitive. So, man, DEL is shaping up to be quite a
I'm excited, man. This is going to be a big year. It's going to be some close games. Sometimes these games just come down. I mean, to 1 yard. I mean, you'll get down 4th and goal, man. If you win, if you get it, you win. If you don't, you go home, and that's how close these games are. Man. The kids are fighting hard,
right? Palm Springs double overtime, so that's a 1-play game.
Yeah,
that game comes down in 1 play. So a lot of times that's what it comes down to, guys out there. It's who wants it more. Talent doesn't always win games. It's sometimes it's heart and just determination.
There's no gimme games, no easy games.
Yeah,
you got to show up every night, and you got to take it.
So I think an excellent start for week 1 for our desert teams. There's some really impressive performances from a lot of good players and coaches out there.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, but what's really I think the headline of this week is the DEL is going to be tough. The DEL is going to be. We'll see how that goes further on as we get into it. Week 1, like we said, can always be some game of smoke and mirrors as well as all you guys. All you guys that play the game, sometimes week 1 there's fluky games as well. So we'll have a better idea of next week. But yeah, I think
so far so good.
So far so good, man. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and preview next week's game right after a word from our sponsors. All right, welcome back, everyone, to Desert Valley Blitz Week 1. We're going to move on to previewing Week 2 now. We got the schedule up. And so, Coach Josh, what matchup has you fascinated this week? We got a couple good ones coming up.
Well, it's got to be Rancho, Coachella Valley. I mean, they had a dogfight last year. Coachella coming off a win, Rancho Mirage coming off a loss. Game of the week. 100%.
Game of the week, absolutely. Yeah. I 100% agree. I think that's the top of the DEL, top of the DVL, battling out.
Yeah, both fun offenses to watch.
At Coachella this year. So it's going to be it's a little different playing out there. As you know, we us old DVL guys had to go out there every year and play in those date gardens out there.
Yeah, they don't have wood out there no more.
I think they might now. It's been a while since I've been out there. But that's going to be an interesting game. I think Rancho coming off of maybe a loss, kind of looking to kind of get back on track. CV's already kind of rolling with that offense. I'm expecting a high-scoring game.
They're fun to watch. Both offenses are very fun. Coach Matthews has a fun offense to watch. His attention to detail, I think it's the best in the Valley. What do I mean by that? Just like the way they run screens. The quarterback they do the same thing every time. He puts the ball back, throw it. But if he's running a screen, he'll show the ball, puts the football by the ear like he's going to pass, and then they starts to run for his life. And as a D lineman, you think you got him. Yeah. They suck you in and they hit you.
Throw it over the top.
So little things like that, you see Coach Matthews' paw prints all over the field. And so I think once he gets everything dialed in perfectly, they're going to be hard to stop.
Yeah, and Coachella is always going to put some points on the board with that offense, right? I mean, Coach Johnson
got that
thing dialed in. Yeah. They're gonna, and they're at home. It's a home opener. It's gonna be a good game. I'm thinking we might need to make a trip out there and go check this one out. I think it might be worth the drive. Anybody out there, anybody at the schools that want us to cover this game, give us a DM or email.
Send some tickets.
We definitely would love to represent that game and kind of give it a little bit more
fireworks.
Publicity.
That's what I'm predicting.
But I agree. Game of the week, hands down. But another interesting matchup, we've got Xavier Prep at DHS this week.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be another interesting matchup. Both are 1-0. Obviously, I think Xavier's probably going to be a little bit of favored on that game just because they play in a little bit higher league. But Desert Hot Springs, man, like you can't count them out, man. No. That's a scrappy team.
You let them hang around, they're gonna find a way to
guys, win. I think that should be another interesting game. I think another high scoring affair. What do you think?
Yeah, 100%. Like I coached at DHS, so I'm always rooting for them. But Xavier, like I mentioned earlier, man, they might be one of the best teams in the desert this year. So if you make me do it, I'll probably have to, I think Xavier's going to pull it out. But
yeah, they got to be the favorite. Just their top line talent is just pretty outstanding. Coach Doc's got them rolling pretty good already. But who knows? You never know. That's why this is interesting,
that's why you
right?
Get to play.
And like I said, sometimes game don't travel on that bus, man.
I'm glad they're playing each other too, man.
Yeah, man.
Two local teams.
Two local teams, man. Give us a little bit something to kind of be excited about. So that should be an interesting one. Another pretty interesting one on the docket: Palm Desert at El Central.
El Central's good, man. I think you'd have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure they beat Palm Desert last year.
They beat them pretty handily last year.
They're a good team, man. Well coached. They got some athletes. Palm Desert's got their hands full, man. This is going to tell us exactly where Palm Desert's at for sure.
Yeah, but I think Palm Desert, one thing that does travel is defense.
Yeah,
and that defense is pretty stout. I mean, we know some guys. I've coached some of those guys on that defense, and they're studs.
Yeah.
And they're all returning. So I think Palm Desert might be able to pull this one out. It's gonna be tough though. That's a tough place. El Central was tough when I was playing in the '90s, going down there and going down there. And
was it 2 hours?
It was always 2 hours.
2 hour bus ride.
It was always a tough game, man. It's just El Central. They got some ball players down there, and that's
the crowd gets behind them. Yeah, it's tough to win.
And that's the school down there, right? In the Imperial Valley, that's one of the
main
if
you're good at football,
hubs.
You're gonna go there. You're not gonna go. What's the Southwest? Yeah, you're probably gonna go to Central. So.
Okay, so Palm Desert got their hands full, but I think that defense could be the difference maker. And they just beat a good Brawley team. So
I'm going for that desert team.
Yeah, we're always pulling for the desert teams. Palm Springs at Grand Terrace. That'll be another tough game. Palm Springs is playing some tough teams, man. That's another. Grand Terrace is a pretty big high school. I don't know. Haven't really looked at what their rankings are, but anytime you go into Riverside, you're gonna deal with some top tier athletes somewhere on the field. Yeah. So I think Grand Terrace has been traditionally a pretty good program. So that's gonna be another tough road game for Palm Springs. They probably got some of the tougher games in the DEL in the preseason.
Yeah, their preseason's pretty tough.
So, but
hats
I think,
off to the coach.
Yeah, but I think Palm Springs got enough juice to take that one. La Quinta, and here's your game. La Quinta at Yucca Valley.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Blackhawks actually open up their season, and we're
back when I played, we opened up against Yucca, and the last few years Yucca was our scrimmage. We would scrimmage them, and it was a feisty scrimmage, and I feel like both teams walked out of the scrimmage every year going, if that was a real game, we would have won.
Right.
If that was a real game, we would have won. They said that, we said that. So now we get to find out who would have won. So I'm looking forward to that game 100%. And I already saw Yucca Valley play there. They have a good staff. They have a good coaching staff, and they get after it. So
right.
La Quinta's going to have their hand full.
Tough opener.
Sure.
It's always tough to open against a team that's already played a game, and you haven't played a game.
Yeah.
That's a big advantage. You can't really discount that. They've already got a game under their belt. You still have to come out there and play your first one, even if your talent is a little bit better.
Yeah,
it's always an organizational thing. It's always like, get that game feeling. You don't really get game reps
out of it.
Till you play a game.
Yeah.
You can't simulate, and as much as us coaches want to do it, it's hard to simulate game reps in practice. Even scrimmage reps are not the same as a game rep. So it'll be interesting. La Quinta's got their hands full. I mean, my son's a Blackhawk, so I'll be rooting for the Blackhawks. I know that their Slim will not be playing. He's gonna be out for at least the first half of the season. So other guys got to step up for La Quinta. The Young Bucks got to step up. So
they got some guys, man.
I seen them at practice. They got some guys.
They got some guys. So I'll just leave it there. I don't want to.
I mean, one guy's tragedies, one guy's opportunity, right? Yeah. So hey, the young guys, it's time to take advantage of that opportunity and get your name in the paper. Shadow Hills, off of that impressive Indio win, is going to be at Palo Verde.
Palo Verde's always good.
Blythe, right? Yeah. They've got a good program. They won a CIF championship a couple years ago. I mean, they used to be, when I played, not the most powerful team, but now I think they're a lot better.
I think they're double wing. I'm not sure though.
Double wing, that's tough to prepare for.
Wing T, I can't remember.
From a defensive standpoint,
they're running the ball for sure.
Yeah, man. I used to hate to prepare for that just because.
I watched them against Coachella a couple years ago.
Yeah, so I mean, I think Shadow will probably be favored in that game, but it's early in the season. But we'll see. That's going to be a tough. It's always tough to go out to the river and try and play a game.
Yeah. They're desert team too, man. You're not gonna. Yeah, you're not getting. You don't have the heat advantage on them, so
no,
they're going to be ready to play.
And then Indio is on the road at Fullerton, so hopefully a game that Indio can kind of get some momentum going, get some confidence going. Fullerton, I believe, is not a powerhouse program, so I think Indio's got some opportunity to
get some momentum going.
Just because we get some preseason momentum, get that taste of that last game out of your mouth and just move on. That's the best thing for everybody involved. So next one, we got San Bernardino at Cat City. So Cat City get their home opener against San Bernardino. It's always good to play at home. Coach Lee's, I'm sure, going to have them ready to go. It's always nice to kind of get your home opener and get a win under your belt. I think Cat City has the opportunity to do that this week. The next one is San Jacinto Valley Academy at Desert Mirage. Desert Mirage, man. If they do half of what they did in that first game, man, they're gonna light up that scoreboard out at.
Just do what you did last week. Just keep it going.
I'm rooting for Desert Mirage, man. They don't get a lot of shine, but those kids play hard.
Yeah, they do.
And they run the heck out of that football, man. So hey, as a defensive guy, I can appreciate that. I think Desert Mirage might start the season 2-0. I don't know anything about who they're playing, but just off of momentum.
Yep.
And then lastly, we got Desert Christian Academy at Riverside Prep. Hey, DCA, man, don't sleep on DCA. I think DCA is going to be going on a roll here. We're going to see some big numbers out of that offense. They've got a lot of young talent out there. They've got a good coaching staff. DCA, people watch out, man. In 2-3 years, man, DCA might be the team that everybody's talking about. I think they're doing it the right way. They got a really good youth program over there that I know some people that over there. So I mean, I think it's just going to continue. So
just keep it up.
Shout out to DCA. Yeah. I think they're going to be 2-0 as well. And that's it for week 2.
They're on the road.
They are at Riverside Prep.
Yeah.
But I think DCA is gonna.
Let's go DCA.
They're gonna do some big things this year. Yeah. So I'm rooting for them. I know a lot of guys over there. So, but yeah, that's what we're looking forward for week 2, man. I think we're gonna have some more answers by the time we come back in here next week. We're gonna have a little bit more answers, a little bit more identity for
who's
these
the
teams.
best, who needs to get better, some standout players,
and the biggest improvement always week 1 to week 2.
Yeah,
in any football, any football level, youth, high school, college, NFL.
Like you said, it's no way to simulate a game situation.
You can't do it. And we've tried. I mean, us coaches we've racked our brains for years to try and simulate that. There's just no way to put the band in the stands, to put your, the cheerleaders out there and just get the adrenaline. There's just no way to simulate that. So, these games are really going to be where you find out. So
I can't wait.
Yeah. So week 2 coming up, folks. We're real excited. And like I said, all you coaches and players, if this program's for you guys. So if you guys want to come in and highlight yourself or highlight your team, we're here for you. Send us a DM. Email us at info@desertvalleyblitz.com. It's also in the link. And we're looking forward to it. And week 2's coming up. So
if you got any questions, hit us up. Anything we might have talked about that you're not real sure about, hit us up. We'll try to help. I know we had some people ask me, is like let us know what you're talking about. Sometimes I don't even realize if you understand what a 4.25 is or a 4.4, So
we get a little bit more in depth than the layman's terms. But
let us know. We'll describe some stuff. Yeah,
that's what the show's for, though. Yeah. So, all right, people. So if you like this episode and found some value in today, the routine. Like, subscribe, and follow. And we'll see you guys next time on Desert Valley Blitz.